Loktarg, our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was Max Effort Squat Day. Just a quick reminder for those of you who watch these vlogs, please click like down below. Help keep the likes higher than the dislikes. It would be greatly appreciated. Over to the point. Squat Day. I'd actually hoped for a better PR than this. I got a PR and I'm happy with it, and it's already, there's some ridiculous comments, and I'm sorry guys, but if you don't understand what I'm doing and you feel the need to throw insults about it, you're gone. I just can't have it. I don't need it. If you don't understand the type of squatting I'm doing, or you don't understand how to squat, ask questions, don't be a dick. 500, 502 there was easy. It was really easy. I could have repped that. So I came over to the 552. This is a box squat PR. I have never hit 552 directly off a box. I saw my weak links coming out here. People who will ask, like, what do you mean upper back and how do you fix that? Are you going to do safety squat? Well, no, I'm not doing the safety squat bar. I've built my upper back enough to do this already without using it. It gives me headaches, causes me problems. My safety squat bar sucks. Maybe it's just the brand. I can't use it. It's almost unusable. And that doesn't really fully address the problem, right? Doesn't fully address the problem any more than other good mornings do. We just keep getting stronger at good mornings. Now, I'll get to the other stuff in a minute. You guys can kind of watch what happened here. But it doesn't mean we don't build the other muscles. Like, people have this bizarre idea that when we work on weak points that we don't work on everything. Well, that's a myth also. That's not how it works. Doesn't mean I don't train my quads and hamstrings and hips and everything else and abs. So 572, when I hit the box, watch how I lose the eccentric. Right? It was a little bit heavy for me, and then my upper back. If you guys notice, I tried to push it up. This is one of those, when I did the 552, I realized I could make another jump maybe if I could keep my chest up. If I could keep my chest up, it would let me use the hips to drive through. What happens is that when you get too much rounding at the top, the quads have to try to take over harder to compensate because you get shifted further forward. Okay, you can't use the hips to drive through. And we lose a lot of the ability to use our hips to drive through. So that's why we have to get stronger at good mornings for stuff like that. And that's why, what I've said before, my good morning needs to be as good as whatever squat I'm trying to hit. Right? So what's the next goal? Well, we know we've hit a 552 squat. We need to get to a 552 good morning. How are we going to get there? By doing volume work on good mornings. Now, this is my current 10 rep max. I went ahead and pushed it out. This was hard to do for 3 today. And people who are like, how do we deal with upper back? Look at where that bar is sitting. That is working the upper back. Hey, just because the other bar sits even higher doesn't mean it's working the same muscles more. It just means it might work them with a little less weight. The downside, I get less other development, and it hurts my neck. Gives me headaches, makes me see black spots. Like, I get big black spots in front of my eyes when I use the safety bar. And so, and it's my bar, it's the padding and everything, and I might have to get a different one eventually. But we can do tons of other good mornings. If we just get really strong at good mornings, it'll build that. And then as far as even the other trap stuff goes, that's a high priority for me. Right? We know that that's a weak link for my benching, right? So we're training it for the bench. So I now have 2 lifts that I know I need more upper back for. So we're doing a lot of stuff for it. And I'm building the whole thing. I'm building the whole thing. I'm not just saying, oh, let's just work on the T-spine. You know, the erectors. It's not just the erectors, the traps, all of that. We need it all stronger. That whole region needs to just be thicker and stronger. Now, people say, but that region is already big. Same thing with the quads. You know, people will miss it. I'm like, look at the size of my quads. I don't exactly have non-monstrous quads. I also box squatted 552 in front of you guys just now. Okay. Well, yeah, my upper back is big. It has to be. It needs to be bigger and stronger. That's the point. If I want to get that squat up, I'm going to have to bring that up. And it doesn't mean I don't need more quad, more hamstring, more hip, more glute, more lower back, more ab. We need everything. Okay, because we're talking about another, to get to a 600 on a box. I've gone from 502 near the end of last year to 552. Now, if I want to replicate that again, put another 50 pounds, we've got to make just as much progress. We've got to just keep hammering those weak points, and we will. So stuff like this, and this was hard today. I managed to get the 365 for all 3 sets of 10. I thought I was going to die on the final set. Look at me there. I'm like, dying. Because that is heavy. That is hard. I don't care who you are. You better be a legitimate beast to think to do that easily. And there are guys who do it. Don't get me wrong. There are guys who can do it. But there are also guys more jacked and more strong than me in the world. Well, I should hope so. I'm a dude in my 40s who spent a year in bed sick. I'm not blessed with the best top tier 1% genetics for strength. So of course there's going to be guys stronger than me. There's also guys willing to use 5 grams of gear a week. So yeah, there'll be dudes stronger than me. But that's tough, man. I mean, that's challenging. And I've got to get it higher. Like, I look at that good morning and what do we say? What do I need to be at? I don't know, 405 for 10. Right? If I get that good morning to 405 for sets of 10 instead of 365, that's at least a 10% increase. We need a 10% increase in the squat. And we need that max to go back. I need that near 600 also, that good morning. So then I did for grip, because I'm doing grip work every day. You know, I don't want people to, again, see that and say, oh, you're just going to train for your squat. No, we're training all my squat and deadlift weaknesses. Right? We've got to work grip. My grip has got to be hammered into the ground. My deadlift has a ton of room for growth. I feel like I could put another 50 pounds on my deadlift this year if I really work on the grip. Right? We work on all the same muscles we've been training that's been bringing my deadlift up, and we get my grip stronger. Grip, 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 grip. And I need more grip. I need more forearm. Not at the expense of making my hands too big. So some people say, why don't we just do more wrist? Well, wrist curls are not necessarily the answer. Right? But these I'm struggling. I can't even lock. I'm having to drop it down. I just did 4 sets till my grip basically failed. And when I feel the bar rolling, that's why you guys see me stopping short and coming down. It's not the lack of lockout strength. It's that the bar is literally rolling out of my hands. And these are tough. But my God, do they build grip. So, I mean, you guys see me doing these on the lower days. On the upper days, I'm doing the inverted rows with the axle bar, which tends to do a lot for my grip. My grip grows up fast just from that. I'm doing pinch block work and stuff on the other days. Someone had asked me, why aren't you doing your farmer's walk? The farmer's walks just destroy my hands. My handles, because they're that same slippery material and it's smaller, it rubs my calluses raw and off. And I want to keep them flat so they can stay smaller. It ends up causing callus tears that don't happen when I deadlift, even over 600 pounds. So it's not conducive for me right now. It's not really what I want, because I drag a sled for conditioning anyway. The sled's going to do more for my squat and everything else. I'll just drag my sled for conditioning. I can do grip work that doesn't involve my GPP, okay, which we're doing. You guys are going to see me doing a lot of pressing with the axle bar, doing a lot of pulling with the axle bar. And I'm doing my pinch block work. It's going to be grip, 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 grip. But, you know, we have to build all these other muscles too. We have to build this stuff, because at the end of the day, no, it's not just upper back. It's not that case of me saying, well, if I just get my upper back stronger, I'll have a 600 box squat. Okay? I'm not that delusional. I'm not that delusional. It's my biggest weak link with 572. And that means that it has the most room to grow towards 600. I really need to get it sorted, and we are. We're already been sorting it. It's probably the only reason I'm hitting the lifts I'm hitting. It's the reason I got that box squat the other day with the chains. The reason we're making progress, right? We are getting it stronger. But we have to do all the posterior chain work. We've got to do the speed work. We've got to do the plyometrics. We've got to do the sled drags. It's a whole process. It's a whole process. But the jumps and the sled work are where I'm getting my quad work. So for people who are like, well, why don't you do any quad work? You try dragging a sled for 10 minutes. And you come back and talk to me about doing quad work. The sled drags are very specific to my needs. It's what I need to be doing for my conditioning. And yes, it is helping my quads grow. And the plyos can too, so we need the quads to be more powerful out of the bottom. they're not the biggest priority. And they're going to be addressed. They're going to grow from what I'm doing no matter what. Okay, that is going to happen. I'm dragging a sled and doing jumps. Okay, you can't remove the quad stimulation. And that's not even counting my regular speed squats and stuff. So everything else has got to keep growing. We've got to keep bringing up the whole posterior chain, the hips, all of that. So we've got to do this other stuff. It just has to be done. Because we need the deadlift to go up also. All this stuff builds my squat, it builds my deadlift. But we also need the upper back. We also need the grip training, all of that. We need all of it. You know, so people always say, why don't you just do that? Because I can only do so much stuff in a week, guys. And I would rather my bigger movements be multi-purpose rather than throw them towards just one thing. Because I can always do smaller things, right? We do more upper back work on my other days. I do all those, even the laterals help with that. All the band pull-aparts help with that. When we get down to it, I'm doing a ton of volume for it. But these movements will help me at the good mornings. And the good mornings will build everything and build my squat and build the strength that I need for that weak link in the squat. Okay? It all fits together in a chain. And that also means that we have to look at, hey, is this supplemental work helping the supplemental work for my squat? Is it going to help my deadlift? Well, we need to keep building these muscles for my deadlift too. Yes, the grip is the weak link in my deadlift. But we need my posterior chain needs to keep getting stronger and more developed. It has to. I'm chasing elite numbers. This is not like, just play around and just hope it lands. No, this has to be done correctly. And I have to maximize all these things. I have to maximally develop all of these things. I cannot have any muscle in my lower body underdeveloped if I want to chase those elite numbers. Like if you want to win at a class appropriate for your height, you have to be stacked. And you got to maximize body composition. That's why I have to continue to lose body fat on top of it. Body composition. I've got to be as jacked and as stacked as I possibly can for my height. That's the name of the game, guys. So these muscles all have to be addressed. So yes, there's going to be a ton of posterior chain, but keeping in mind, these all increase the good morning, and the good morning is going to be a big key to my squat. And my deadlift. Got to keep moving forward. If I can make the same progress on that squat in the next 9 months that I made in the last month, I'm going to be very much at an elite level. Keep putting in the work consistently. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.